Yes, hello everyone, and welcome to the Man United agenda. And it is Manchester United 1, Young Boys 1, and Ralph Ranić put out a weaker team, but got to say, it's a 1-1 draw, but still smiling. Yes, everyone, welcome back to the Man United agenda. And if you thought that was mouth-watering, the watch along, the guys on it was absolute fantastic. Well done to the guys on it. Talk MU and Mr. B, big up, guys. Really appreciate it. Good work. And then we're back here now, so we're on a bit of pressure today. But before we go and get into the game, what I would say is please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And remember, you could stand in a chance to win yourself a signed Bruno Fernandes football shirt. And as always, we are joined by Rebel
How you
and
doing?
on Monday. How are we guys doing today? How are you feeling after that performance?
Very good, very good.
Rebel?
Absolutely agree. A lot of positives, and I just want to say a big congratulations to all the guys that made their debuts today. It was fantastic.
It was brilliant. And we'll go into how many homegrown players we had. And we got to say Tom Heaton is a homegrown player really as well, can't we, at age 36?
Yes.
So we'll crack it out there. So guys, if you're watching, just hit your comments below, and also we'll be going into the man in the match as well. But before we start on Monday, first things first, looking at the team lineup. I am going to get the team lineup on here so we can all see what the team lineup was. And you're probably one of the first person looking at the team lineup. You've been probably calling for something like this with a few of these players to start. But the formation, as much as the formation was scouted around differently, it was a 4-2-2-2, wasn't it, really?
Yeah, that's what I observed. Definitely, I think we all got it right. Created a 4-2-2-2. I'm really surprised by Matic at centre back, but I thought he strolled through the game. He's not a natural centre back, but he's a good footballer. That's the main thing, and he can play anywhere. He's big enough. He's 6'2", 3. He can manage that. Also, Mata in centre midfield. I think with his legs now, he can ball it in there. Lovely to see Donny van der Beek get 90 minutes. We can't be critical. I love Ahmad. I think he's a great player. It's lovely to see him playing. Lingard was in there as well. Elanga I was hoping for up front. So, yeah, really happy with the debuts, or not the debuts, the shape, people playing in different positions. Mata playing as centre midfielder. That was beautiful to see because he can get on the ball. He can dictate things as well. And two ballers in centre midfield made me really happy. I was looking forward to the game and how we'd sort of control the game. I thought we'd control the game a lot more. Obviously, it didn't happen that way. But I think that just comes down to learning the system and new debutants in the team, you know. And after a while, we're going to get used to it. But I think it's really refreshing of Ralph to play such a young, exciting side. And it's just, everyone was gasping when they saw the team sheet and thinking, wow, let's have a look at this. And I hope all the fans out there enjoyed the game. I know I did.
Rebel, and for you, this formation, the lineup as well, what did you make of it?
Absolutely. I think Ralph did stupendously with the job that he done selecting that team. He saw the opportunity to give lads a go in the team, and he utilised it to the full extent possible. Looking at that starting lineup, it was important for Luke Shaw to get 60 minutes under his belt. It was great to see him back from his concussion and no problem. So that was fantastic. Dean Henderson, again, only second start of the season. Absolutely great to see him in there. Wan-Bissaka getting an opportunity to show that he can take on that more advanced role. Whether he did or he didn't, we'll get into that later. Mata getting nearly 90 minutes under his belt. Absolutely beautiful. I did hear that it probably will be his last European start for Manchester United because it's unlikely that he will start in knockout football, I would think. Donny van der Beek, again, got an opportunity to put his hand up and say, Gaffer, I can do a job for you. But the star boys for me, like obviously Jesse got his time, but to see Langa, Mason Greenwood and Ahmed at their age being the leading lights of our attack was absolutely beautiful to watch. And that was before we got into the subs on. I am absolutely elated with today. The result doesn't really mean a thing to me, but watching those guys wearing that United shirt was fantastic.
Yeah, and for me again, looking at the lineup was fantastic. My surprise though is where they were playing Matic. When I first saw it, I was like, "Oh, can't play Matic, yeah." But I've got to give Matic a lot of credit. He dealt with a lot of error problems. He dealt with, he basically commanded. There's a few mishaps, but again, like we said, we're not going to go in. We're not going to go too much into the players because this was a makeshift Manchester United team, and if we can go out and we can perform as a makeshift team and this is nowhere near the first team players, I think the future is bright for Manchester United with the new style of playing the system and how we are playing under Ranić. And I've got to say, today, 6 debutant homegrown players as well. How fantastic do you feel to be a Manchester United fan? And this is what we're talking about, going back to the roots and the tradition of Manchester United Football Club, what we mean out there as a club. So, guys, let's go in now, and we're going to talk about the first goal and how it started off. Matic, obviously, it started it to Shaw, and what a beautiful cross by Luke Shaw to Mason Greenwood. And Mason Greenwood's got that in his cabinet, really. Well, we know he has got it because, like we said, he can play. He's got left foot, he's got right foot. He can do it all, really. Apart from we sometimes disagree and say about the heading of it, but I know on Monday you were saying recently when we said he's a natural finisher, I think you were saying you were looking for a player to see if he can develop his game where he can sort of like take the keeper on one rather than just getting the ball. Because you're saying he's more of a shooter rather than a natural finisher. So on Monday, go on, talk to us.
Yeah, what I was saying was people saying, "Oh, he's a great finisher, great finisher." I said I haven't seen that yet. I want to see him. Obviously, he can shoot both feet. That's what we've seen, but we're not seeing him as a finisher, you know. And that what he done today was a finisher. I want to see a variety of goals with his head, left foot, right foot, volley in the box, 6-yard box, and he's going to get the opportunity now with this formation. Hopefully, he's going to be right up front and right in the 6-yard box, getting on the end of the fullbacks, crosses or deliveries across that area. And I think that finish today, even though it was slightly behind him, to be able to control that and hit it straight and right into the corner of the net, I thought that was a beautiful finish. I think Luke Shaw held up, jockeyed a bit. He was looking up, trying to find the right person. I don't think Greenwood peeled off. It's just the defender was carried on running, and he managed to create the space himself. It was there, but the cross, the cross wasn't the best. I'll say it was into the right areas, kind of thing. But he made the most of it because it was behind him, and to be able to direct it and get that sweet connection. You know when it leaves your boot like that. It's
if you play the game and it's a sweet
so
touch.
That was a wonderful start and a wonderful goal. And obviously we got to understand now we're starting to see patterns of play where our fullbacks are getting up high up the line and getting crosses in and passing across the 6-yard box. And I think we're going to get a lot of goals like that because we're going to have numbers in the box. A bit like when Fergie was there, we used to have numbers in the box and score our goals like that. So I'm starting to see, okay, this is a pattern of play. This is what we're trying to achieve here, Unfortunately, we didn't get much down the right-hand side, but I think, imagine we did have that sort of player down the right who could sort of give us that sort of service as well and have that ability on the ball high up the pitch as well. Then you can start seeing, visualizing how we're going to perform going forward, It's a beautiful formation. We're all obviously getting used to it. On the eye, but imagine the players are having to sort of adapt to it. And I think, regardless of the result, I thought it was a beautiful game of football to watch. There's so many things. I mean, I gave up taking notes because I was just enjoying it so much. And Greenwood's finish, like I say, was just magic.
Magic. Rebel, same thing there.
Yeah, I'm actually going to bring back the play just a small bit, actually, from the Shaw cross. I want to actually give some credit to a man that a Monday champions on this channel, and that's Matic. That ball that he picked out to Lingard was absolutely superb to start that move. And then just how quickly the ball went from Lingard to Langa and ultimately then to Shaw before crossing that ball. That movement, that's the kind of style of football that we like to see, that we get up the pitch quick. This is what Ralph was angling for in his press conferences, positive, proactive play. And just, you have to give credit to Matic for that initial ball because that was quality, the way he dropped it on Lingard. But like Monday, Shaw's ball, yes, it was a bit behind Greenwood. Greenwood did have to adjust to get the shot, but that just shows the quality of the ability of the finisher that Greenwood is. Did you notice the goalkeeper was planted like a statue? He was absolutely shell-shocked. He did not expect Greenwood to do that. It was an absolutely beautiful finish. And actually, I just want to also give credit to some of the best defending I've seen on the pitch shortly after that goal, and that was to the ref, who pretty much completely shut out Shaw after.
We will go into about the defending because there's one player there I thought was absolutely brilliant once he came on at the back. He was absolutely brilliant. So we spoke a bit about obviously Mason Greenwood. We know like young boys, they don't travel very well in England. What is it, 5 losses now? Well, they've 5 games, 5 losses. So this will be their 6 and 1 draw. They did oppose a lot of threats though towards us. They sort of, how can I put it? The first, say, 20 to 30 minutes, we're all over them, but all of a sudden we allow them to get back in the game. I don't know whether or not that's to do with naivety or, as I would say, a makeshift Manchester United team. Let's go with a Monday with that one.
Yeah, well, you have to understand, they were cutting out the balls. When you're told to play fast football and get out your feet and look forward rather than sideways, backwards, you're always looking for that pass. So you get out your feet, it's like both out my feet, and who you're looking, you wanted to play it in. You see a guy, and as you're playing the ball, you realize, someone's going to come intercept it. But you have to continue doing this. You have to get into that system of repetitive system of playing, getting up, head up, and popping it into someone's feet and things. So naturally, people are going to intercept because they're expecting you to play forward. They're always thinking, right, he's not going to play back. He's going to play forward. How can I intercept? And I thought young boys, they're male team, big men. They really showed the difference between boys and men. You know, there's a lot of boys on the pitch, and they sort of were physically a bit stronger all round, pound for pound, I think. And they really demonstrated that with their movement. They're a well-drilled team. They were raiding. They were looking to sort of counter us and cut out the balls thing. So even though we had 2 good ball players in the middle of the park, it was wet. It was the ball was fizzing off the wet pitch. To be able to get, I saw even Mata. This is something I'm shocked. I saw Mata, the ball come into him, and he miscontrolled. Look, not miscontrolled it, but the ball went a couple of feet away from him, which is unusual for him. So it shows it was wet. It was the ball was being pinged, pop, 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 pop. And sometimes when you, like I say, having to get into that motion when you're told get out your feet and pass it forward. You look up, and by the time you pass it, someone's coming. That's simple as that. I've got no hating. I'm not picking anyone out to say that's wrong or whatever. Like we saw when they scored, it was a pass. Someone passed it, and it was like instant, right? Pop, pop, pop. And some people are ahead of it, some people are not.
Yeah.
We can get to the goal in a minute, but I'd like to talk about the goal that we conceded as well, because it's the same. I'll talk about it now because it's the same issue. Getting out your feet, popping it early. You know, not stalling, not holding it up, not waiting, popping it early. And that's what Van der Beek did. He got out his feet, saw Wan-Bissaka, thinking Wan-Bissaka's on the page. Wan-Bissaka's like just running back. He's a bit tired. He's trying to take a little breather. And it's like, he waited too long. But it was good by Donny. He's like, I'm popping it into feet. I've seen a man. I don't like, whereas before you might think I'm not passing to him. He's poor. I'm going to wait till I pass to Bruno or Ronaldo. No, Donny don't care. You're in the red shirt. I'm popping it into your feet. You have to be ready. So I don't blame Donny for that. I think Wan-Bissaka was just off the pace. But that just shows, keep popping it forward. Keep playing the so-called vertical passing now they're talking about or whatever. But it's just basically get your ball out your feet and look up and pop it, play it into your man. That's as simple as that. And when we try and do that, people will eventually cut it out and intercept the ball. And this is what happened today a few times early on with the wet pitch, with the slow learning process, with this new system. You can factor all these things in to explain why it wasn't really going off all the time, considering we had better ball players in there as well.
Yeah. Rebel?
Yeah, I suppose there's a couple of things just in general defence I want to pick up on. The first one was Aaron Wan-Bissaka. He had a red card against Young Boys in game 1, and it was for a terrible challenge. He went in, and I thought I was watching a mirror image of it there in the first half when he went in on the Young Boys player again, and it looked like it was a carbon copy of what he'd done game 1. He was very fortunate that he didn't connect, to be honest with you, because he would have been walking again if he did connect, unfortunately. It's a side of his game that, given that his major strength is defending, it's not something that you expect from a player of that nature. We'll talk about his offensive threat later on, but the other one then was around the goal. Can I just say, first of all, credit to the Young Boys player. What a superb finish. That was an absolute quality goal that you would absolutely love to see any game in any place. But Van der Beek, I can't help but feel a bit disappointed that he didn't seize the opportunity that he got today to the full extent that he could. Now, it is going to be tempered by the fact that it wasn't a makeshift Manchester United team, but this was a big chance to put away the haters, to silence them, to say, I am Manchester United quality, I can do a job for Ralph, and I can't help but feel that he underperformed, unfortunately.
Wow. Oh, wow. Do you know what yet, Rebel? I actually think he was probably our standout player. The way he controlled midfield. I actually thought, apart from that one mistake he made, I thought Van der Beek was our best player. But again, we all watch football and it's different opinions. So that's all about the Man United agenda. It's all about different opinions.
Was it a mistake? Was it a
And
mistake?
then there you go. It was a mistake.
Was it a mistake?
I don't think it was. I don't think it was a mistake.
If your manager telling you this is how what they want you to play, and you do that thing, your player wasn't on it. If I pass that ball, I'd be told, get out your feet and pop it forward. Yeah. And you pass it to your man, and the guy's not on it. You know, he's just wasn't on it. He was running back. I know Wan-Bissaka, I looked at it again. He'd run back. He was a bit tired. He's trying to take a break. That's not Donny's fault, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Now, maybe I was being a bit overcritical of him. I'm just looking at my notes here. I think I ticked him for about 6 or 7 mistakes.
On the pitch today, yeah. There was a few.
Yeah. There's to be honest with you, on the pitch today, there was a lot of mistakes on the pitch, but I'm not going to take anything away from what Rangnick done today with the team selection. I'm just going to sit there. I'm going to keep smiling. We qualified for Champions League, and we gave all these fringe players who have been at the club under Ole and never had the opportunity at all to feature. And these guys have featured. And what he will do with this now is take the best out of a bad bunch with the performance today and utilize those players and bring these guys into the first team, which I'm happy and I'm proud for, because FA Cup coming round, most of these guys will feature in the FA Cup as well. Go on Monday.
Yeah, sorry. Go on, Rebel. Yeah.
I just want to say that talk actually probably sums up pretty much what I was kind of ticking Donny van der Beek for, was he wasn't aware of what was going on around him at times.
I don't know. I don't know. I know when I was going to watch a lot.
Well aware of. He's aware. I think he's very conscious of things. He's always looking, doing a 360, always aware of what's going on in the pitch. I just think it was wet. It was fizzing all over the place. The thing is, it's the tempo now. This is the thing. Get out your feet and pass it forward. The tempo. And there were some players on it, some people not. Yeah. And with Donny, he's like him and Mata. This is what I'm interested about Ralph. Placing him and Mata in midfield suggests to me that he wants ball players in those 2-6 positions as well. So you don't really all that running. We're talking about you got to be a certain model of midfielder to play in that role. Maybe he wants ball players in there. So Mata and Donny, we saw 2 ball players in there. Did they have to tackle? Donny done a few tackles, but how often did they really have to tackle or that kind of thing? How many times were they caught off the pace or like ahead of the play or not in position? It's only giving the ball away a couple of times on that pitch, which we mentioned earlier, the reasons why. So overall, I'm really positive about the way people performed at this high. It's a lot higher tempo, and it's a speedy kind of football that players have to adapt to.
Yeah. And also, what we've got to sit there and say as well with it, you got to sit there and think to yourself, this is the second sort of game that Rangnick's taken charge of, this second game. And you got to think how many days of training to try and get his idea across to all these players. It's not going to sit there. And he has said in his press conference, it's not going to take a day, 2 weeks, 3 weeks to get it in. It's a process. It will take a lot longer to get through to these guys. So because it will take a process to get through, we're not used to covering all that space, those gaps. Midfield today, again, yes, we're a bit open in midfield, but at the same time, ball retention, we're seeing it's better rather than how it used to be. Slow, sluggish. It's now zipping. I'm watching today and I'm sitting there going, I can't take my eye off it. I'm trying to make notes down. I'm going, I can't make notes. What am I making notes for? Because the movement was so quick. I'm not used to that. I can only remember that on the Ferguson era. So
it just shows you as well, with this fast tempo play, we have to be more decisive and keep the ball and make sure the ball goes to feet. Because we saw the transition today when we gave the ball away. There was times when we gave it away and we were on the back foot. It was like 3 against 3 or 3 against 2. and they were raiding at us, and they could have one decent pass, they would have been in on goal a couple of times. So it's really important to make sure we keep practicing these drills and practicing these transitions of play, because if you're doing it in those areas and the midfielders do give the ball away, then we're going to be sort of struggling to get back. But otherwise, it's just practice, drills, and it will happen. It will click.
Yeah, and that's the thing with it. We'll click. So let's go into Ahmed and Elanga today, and we have got two young ball players, really, haven't we? We can see, like, I don't understand why Hamid haven't had a chance in the first team, because he's got strength, he's got the pace, he's got the ability, and again, this is what his second game for Man United. Well, in the Champions League, but overall, I think he's only played. I think it works out to be 4 games, but out of the 4 games he's played for Man United, he's only played, I think, 1 70-minute game. Rebel.
Yeah, for me, I suppose I mentioned Elanga back before. I think it was the Villarreal game. I had actually watched him in an under-19 Champions League game, and I just thought he was a sleeky baller. I looked at him transitioning into today along with Ahmed, and for considering Ahmed missed the better part of 2 months with injury and trying to recover from injury because he was due to go out on loan, I thought he was quality. I thought it didn't faze him that he was dropped into the team. I'm just looking through my notes there. There was a few times I credited him with making great attacking runs. He was absolutely on the game. He was very aware of what was going on. He was progressive. And I think he even came back and made a tackle at one point. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He did.
So
I think that was like about the 70th something minute he made a tackle. He came back and done it, yeah.
I'm very impressed. I think it was a great opportunity, and he seized it with both hands, and he's saying, Gaffer, I'm here. Give me that opportunity, and I will do a job for you. I just can't actually give him enough praise, actually, for the way he played today. Elanga took his opportunity well. Maybe a bit more naivety than Ahmed. Probably needs more game time at that level to come up to the same speed. Like, Ahmed did play at a higher level in Italy before he came over here, so I think there was a bit more nous about him. Not to discredit Elanga, I was impressed with him, but I do think there's more time needed with him. Whereas Ahmed, I think he can have a real effect this year.
Yeah, and on Monday on the watch along when they first started, they wanted you desperate to come on, because when they saw the team lineup and the substitution, Mr. B was saying on Monday you would be loving this right now, because seeing Hamed and seeing Elanga starting for Manchester United in the Champions League, it means so much to us as Manchester United fans.
What do you think it means for them? I mean, we're their skinny teeth, but they must have been like over the moon. And it's funny, like the 2 subs, Savage's boy and the other guy as well. I saw him take a deep breath when he started ready to come on. Yeah. So it must be for these young players. It's amazing, isn't it? Performance-wise, Elanga, I thought he was a bit shy today. Not really at the races, maybe. I think Greenwood was his senior. He was trying to do the work. He was tracking back a lot of the times when I felt that he was coming out of the shape a little bit. Maybe I don't think he was asked to do that, but a couple of times he was like tracking back on the left-hand side, and then Shaw had to say to him, no, I've got this. You stay up. But then you're left out. You're out of your shape. Kind of thing. It's okay doing that. That's responsibility. Saying, right, I'm going to get track back. But you don't need to track back. Let the shape balance itself. You're a striker. You're up there. You cover a certain area. You press a certain area, and when it goes into other person's zone, it's their responsibility, and you're there to pick up the pieces or whatever. But don't go into their zone to pick up their stuff. All the time. I saw him do that a lot of time. I think he should just be more responsible, staying up top. Not just that, because if you do stay up top, the defenders are not going to be inclined to push forward or push their line up. They're going to be thinking Greenwood and Elanga, blows on skirts. It's theirs a race. If we push up high and the space in behind, do we really want to go, one-on-one with these guys for pace? And the answer is no. So by going deep, I think sometimes you have to think about it. So no, let me stay on the guy. So they it's not my responsibility to do that. So Elanga was okay for me. Obviously, it's another great experience. He's going to learn from it. I'm sure with these guys, they analyze their game, and as we're going to see with these new staff roles that we have, like data analysis and everything else, they will be analysing everything, and I'm sure that they will do a fantastic job in telling them exactly what they need to do better. And as for Ahmad, I think he's just a great talent, a young, great talent. He's quick, he's sharp, he's very sharp. He's sort of guy who's like, you rush him and chop, he wait for you to come and he just bop and move out of the way, and dribble away from you. Intelligent as well, knows how to shield, does the right things, always looking to play the simple pass. He got in a couple of times, should have scored, but I don't blame him. It's a big occasion. This is Champions League, I don't blame him. At least he got into those positions. And I was really happy that we got in those positions as a team, where we were like 2-1 to score or 1 to breaking like that, and they were on the back foot. So it sort of forced them to say, right, we need to be careful here. And obviously, I saw a stat here, talking you put up a great stat about 49%, which we only had compared to what we had 61 the other day, 61%. So it's not always about percentage with this system. It's about, because when we do get the ball, it's a quick, what they say, 10 seconds before we have a shot on target or that kind of thing. So this, we have to remember, it's not always going to be like keep ball. It's always direct ball, probing ball, that kind of thing. So I really love Ahmad. I'm just so, Ralph is the man for me to play this side. It is just, like drinking fresh juice on the beach, refreshing. I just can't praise him enough. It's so cool. Wenger used to do it in the Coca-Cola Cup or the League Cup, play all these youngsters. Say, go on there, guys, just do your thing. And it's like that today. And this now, he's got, it's like a free game today. It was a free game to play. Go and do your thing, boys. And everyone around the club now, all the young players are going to be like, and all the senior players are going to be like, Ralph is the man. Ralph, Ralph, it's going to be like that. It's very clever what he's done today.
Absolutely. And I kind of want to scoop the 2 week before you go on to the next man and just say, Mengi, oh my days, that guy is ready for a bit more of a role in that United team. Did you see the determination when he slipped to get back up and put in that challenge? I think that guy is ready to be given a few minutes here and there in games and expose him to more Premier League games, more cup games, get him in that team, get him around the senior players, get him in senior training, because the way that he carried himself for 19 years of age, magnifique.
Yeah. Man, we are going to get on
when he slipped, I thought his whole career went before his eyes, thinking, if I don't get up, all right, if I get done for this slipping and they go and score, my career could, it's like that. It's like that. He got up, and the determination was like, I'm having a career here. I'm not going to be the laughing stock. And good tackle.
Yeah, it's great tackle. And we're going to move on. Before we do that, though, I would like Amanda to go through some of the comments. And then I want to talk about Henderson, because I've got to take something back about Henderson. I know he's against the young boys, but
Just say hi to everyone in the comments again. Here's a question for Andy. Initially, he said, this is the first time that a team played this formation. Do you want to answer that, Rebel?
Bear with me for 2 seconds while I do a little bit of research in the background, but I'll come back to it if you don't mind.
Well, I think we played this.
I don't think it is. No, I don't think it is the first time a team played, because his formation, when he signed for Man United on Wikipedia, the formation was, that's his preferred formation at 4-2-2-2. So it's not the first time.
He played against Palace then the other day.
He did. The lineup was, I get like that. But when you look on television, the way they put it out, it looks like it could be like a 4-3-3, or it could be sort of a 4-3-2-1. But eventually it works out, when you look at it, it's a 4-2-2-2 formation.
Okay, so and obviously it changes when
it drops. It basically drops as the team kicks off. It drops back into that formation. So when you look at our width today, and even against Crystal Palace, our width was very narrow when we were playing.
So Bargain plays exactly that. Yeah. So do you want to answer
but then
that?
players can then drop in.
Who gives the widths in this formation?
Just actually looking at the RAL 4-2-2-2, it looks like they've described it in one article here that it can transition into a 4-3-3 at times, depending on the pattern of play that is occurring.
And he did that today as well. It happened today, where he brought Van der Beek, and Van der Beek almost was sitting at one stage. with
Yeah.
Mata. So he did
It's
do
very
that as well.
flexible,
So
very flexible. Yeah.
yeah.
So even
So
though we
that
start like
formation,
that, it can turn into anything. So just they're asking here as well. Bargav, how you doing? He says, who gives the width in this formation? That's an easy one, I think, guys.
Wing backs
Wingbacks.
mainly.
Yeah. And again, we can't judge these guys because, as I said, Luke Shaw is just coming back. But Wan-Bissaka, last season, we did praise him for a couple of times for going forward. Today, I thought he went forward more so than in usual games.
Can I throw the stat to you?
Go on.
Manchester United, 1 goal, 2 assists from wing backs. Liverpool have 19 assists from wing backs. 19. 10 of which alone are from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Yeah.
That is going to be the level of expectation that is expected from Wan-Bissaka.
Yeah.
And it's whether or not he's capable of that.
Yeah, and this is the problem now. It's a great point because I want to, right at the end of the show, I want to ask people a question right at the end to put it into the YouTube link after the show and put in whether or not Luke Shaw and Wan-Bissaka will be second choice players now, because it seemed like Tellez and Dallo is his favorite players playing in that system. So we will put that in and let us know in the comments as well. Sorry, Amanda, carry on with the comments. Sorry.
Pope Man has said the review, meaning the show, should just be good night, and that meant nothing, you know. And finally, hi Rich Sports, hi Talk MU, hi Christmas. It's with Vaughan, bath time, Christmas.
Bath time.
He's not happy, man. He said, here we go. He said it's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, having those experienced players in those positions. So talking about Mata in centre midfield, maybe, and Matic at centre back. That kind of thing. So he's not happy. And finally, he says, I've got no idea what to think of this game. I have no idea if Bailey was playing well. You can't judge Johnny and effing Mata in a pivot. He's not happy about that. Yeah, clearly.
Oh, wow. Gone. So I was going to touch on Bailly and Henderson, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to both of them. I'm going to say Bailly and Henderson. What did you make of their performance today? Because I thought Henderson controlled the box. I know, and there is going to be a little debate right towards the end of the show for about 2 minutes, because on the watch along, Talk MU sort of blamed him for the goal and thought he was too far off his line. I disagree with it. So sorry, Talk MU. I disagree with that. But his performance overall today was very decent for what the length of time he had on the pitch. Also with Bailly, I know on Monday is going to probably say about Bailly, he's got a bit rash. Today, I thought he's a bit more composed and a bit more control. I don't know if you got the same feeling I did today with him. Sorry, go on, Rebel.
I did have him down just before Amondi gives his piece because I wanted to support your comment that I did have him down for 2 goal-saving challenges. And I thought that considering he was beside an unfamiliar partner, he did pretty well.
And what about Henderson? Give us about your things about Henderson, because on Monday will give us a breakdown because he's going to talk about Henderson, how great Henderson is, and then we'll probably just brush by you past.
In terms of Henderson, I wouldn't fault him for the goal. I think Danny was put into a bit of a hospital pass. I think Danny could have done better with the way he cleared the ball, but I wouldn't have put Henderson down to be at fault for the goal. I did have him pinged at one stage for being very slow to get back after being out. So if he's going to come out, he's going to need to be able to get back quicker when he's caught in the break, because we did give the ball away quite quickly after one phase of play, and Henderson was still about 20 feet from his goal, and he needs to get back quicker. So, but in general, I think it's the type of goalkeeper that we do need in the style of play that we're going to be doing. So I am going to credit Henderson, but he does need to. It's probably to do with the fact of lack of game time, to be honest with you as well. So I am going to watch him with keen interest in the way that he develops, but I'm not going to fault him for the goal. I think that's unfair.
Yeah. Take it away on Monday.
Bailey, he is composed. He is that sort of player. I see a couple of times he sort of balls coming over and he fakes out the oncoming striker. Obviously, when you're running, we've got the momentum. It's easier for defender to sort of turn in. You saw Matic do it a couple of times, sort of where and turn out and things. It's real good skill because you're reading where the defender's running and the momentum of their run, and then it's hard for them to turn away if you give them a little dummy. So I think Bailey's got that in his game. What I'm disappointed with him about is always late to get that challenge in, I feel. And when you head the ball out, man. Give it a real, come through it. I've never seen him do that. It really frustrates me. And also,
it's like a glance, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, right, it's yours to clear. And it just goes, boop, just a little bit, 5 yards in the air. It's like, come on, let's get it out of there. Maguire comes through it, you know, that sort of defender. I want to see him just really attack the ball and get it out of there, you know. He's got to stay on his feet. He's got to, there's so many things that frustrate me with Bailey. When he first arrived, I thought he could be a really good player, composed, everything else. But then I realized he's rash. Say there's a big defender and the ball's coming over. He doesn't know how to read it to come in and win the header. He will end up fouling the guy, that sort of thing. So my heart's always in my mouth when I'm watching him play. I'm thinking, oh God, he's one little rash moment away from doing something silly, you know. So I'm not. He's still got a lot to prove to me. Even though he's got ability and everything else, like I did give him credit, like I say, he knows how to turn away from oncoming forwards, you know. But as for the goalkeeper, I'm really happy with the goalkeeper. I have been endorsing him for a long time, even last year when he had that sort of Premiership game and De Gea was playing in the Euros, that sort of thing. And De Gea had that confidence and thing. The only thing, I think he's conceded a silly goal against Liverpool when he opened it up. He's like Moses parted the way. So there's the way to score and let Salah score a goal. That's the only thing I can really criticize him for. Otherwise, he's been a top keeper. Today, for example, I think he's really good at reading. You got I saw him. I was watching. He was talking to the defense, orchestrating the defense, and they needed to be. You got Matic in there. You got Bailey in there. Two guys who don't really play together ever, and two guys who are not partners. And he was talking to them and instructing them. And obviously, he was. That's what you need. You need those eyes behind you. Somebody who can visualize, see the whole pitch and everything else. And sweeper, as a sweep, like you say, these sort of things. Being a sweeper keeper or whatever. That means if the ball goes, if you're playing a high line and the ball goes in behind, the defender shouldn't have to run, chase it all the way back where De Gea is standing on his line. The defender should be rest assured that, boy, I know my keeper's coming, or keeper, and just get there and read it. I've done that a couple of times a day, and that really takes out the sprint. You keep the defender thinking, I don't need to sprint back because the keeper's read it, and always ready for that ball over the top or a slide ball through, which happened today a couple of times, you know. So I like Henderson. I think he going forward. I would even say now he's better fit than for us than De Gea, and I say that I can judge it by he can control his box better. He comes out for crosses. He's not afraid to come and clatter a man. He reads the game. He's actually reading the game. He's vocal. He's back talking to his defense. He's covering that space in behind as a sweeper, like the last man, and coming in and clattering a man and clearing it. He's sometimes not going to dilly-dally on the ball. It's like, boff, he's already read it. He's going to pass it, bam, he's got a good range of passing as well. I think Henderson's a really good keeper for us. And I think going forward, give him more confidence, give him games.
Can I just ask one thing before we go any further? Obviously, Ralph has been watching Talking Mew because he did introduce, to coin a phrase that he used, a percussion sub when he brought on Tom Heaton.
Go on, say that again. I missed that.
He did bring in a percussion sub when he brought on Tom Heaton for Henderson.
Oh God!
Boom boom.
I don't know. Who said percussion? Oh, it was
talk.
Yeah, it was talk.
Absolute brilliant. Absolute brilliant.
Inside joke, guys. Unless you watch Friday Night, Mr. B.
No, it wasn't Friday night. Was it? Was it Friday night? He said it.
Well, hopefully it'll be on Friday night, Mr. B.
No, it will be on Friday night. Yeah,
Yeah,
it will definitely be on it. So, guys, let's go through now. Let's talk about some of our own. So we spoke about Ahmed. Let's talk about the 6 homegrown subs now. Oops. I'm getting feedback. Can everyone hear that?
You're good. You're good to go.
Feedback. Yeah, that's a bit.
Technical things. I think I'm all right now. So 6 homegrown players, and I've got to say, Savage tonight is a proud father. Absolutely proud father. But we can't just credit just him alone. We've got to credit all the players who came through, and also we've got to remember as well for the junior Champions League as well. You got to think about how many players got called up for that as well. So Ranić right now is looking at the players, the generation of Manchester United players. He is after the job full time because he's going to try and show the board, I can bring this player, I can bring that player, I can do this. I don't need money to spend on big players. On Monday, six home, I'm going to say it again with my chest out, homegrown players came on for Manchester United tonight. How proud should we be as football fans? And in the comments as well, guys, let us know how you feel about this, because I know it's against Young Boys. I know some of you guys are very disappointed about the result tonight against Young Boys, but honestly, I look at the future of Manchester United and we qualify for Champions League. We're finishing top of the group on Monday.
Yeah, totally. I mean, in the words of the famous Talk MU, youth, courage, greatness. I mean, he's been using that phrase for a long time, and it does represent so much about Manchester United. How many major clubs in Europe would you see playing like 17, 18-year-olds in a Champions League game? You know, you don't see that often, apart from maybe Ajax, who you wouldn't even say they're the top best club in Europe or thing. So I think it represents, it gives us an ID for our club. We always bring in youths. You can see it, even like we had senior players like Greenwood on the pitch. Do you understand what I'm saying? A senior player is like Marcus Rashford most weeks, and he's still quite young. So to have these debuts for the guys, I think Ralph's come in and really sort of stamped his mark on the side and saying anyone, a bit like Louis van Gaal did by bringing in Rashford and always sort of looking for the best youth. I think Ralph, this is what Ralph does. It's not nothing to be like shocked about. This is what Ralph does. He wants to work the whole club from top to bottom and have a ongoing fluent system where players will transition from youth, reserve, and get into the first team and then play and become good players. This is what he does. He says it's about development. He said, I remember in one of his interviews recently, he said success is about development, because people, when he first, a lot of ignorant people were saying, oh, what has he won? What has he won? Thinking he should be winning Champions Leagues and all that kind of thing. He counters that by saying, no, success is development. And I'm sure Rebel will tell you really all the successful developed players that he's brought in who are well-known players now around the globe. So I love that what he did today by naming the first 11 and naming look at the subs bench. There's a picture one time where they showed all the boys in the subs bench and they were like that, just like, oh my God, look at us, remember this, nudging each other and just it's overexcited. This is really special, and the bottom line is the club is special. It's not like he's taken 5-10 years to do that. It's already there. So we haven't been afraid to use them, And look, Tanzabi, you can name them. There's so many top clubs. I think in the whole of the British Isles, we are or Europe, out of top leagues, we've got probably the most homegrown developed players playing at top level in football, all around, especially in Britain and maybe around Europe as well. It's just great, man. It's great. And fair play, all of them will be skinning right now, going home, buzzing about it. Go and check their Twitters or Instas. They'll be putting pictures of them running out, next to on the Champions League stage. It's just amazing. So a great night all round. Everyone wins.
Yeah, and going to Rebel, I'm going to ask the same question about obviously the homegrown. But Savage said something tonight as well. He said apparently all of these guys, the 6 players who's been around on the pitch tonight, apart from obviously your Ahmed, they've been together since age between 4 and 5 years old.
Yeah.
So this playing, it's almost bring you back memories of the class of '92.
Absolutely. And what he also did say was he gives big credit to Darren Fletcher for what he's done for these young people. So he put a big dose of compliment onto Darren Fletcher and what he's done at the Manchester United club. In terms of these 6 players, I just want to start with Tom Heaton, because when he left Old Trafford the first time, he would never have dreamed in his wildest dreams that he'd been back and appearing in a Champions League game for Manchester United and wearing that badge. And I just want to say what an occasion for him. I did have the joke about Talking Muse percussion subs earlier, but I do want to credit Heaton because it was a big night for him. He can now say, I stood in that jersey, in that goal line at Old Trafford, and I got my chance in the Champions League. Charlie Savage, I did have him down for, to quote and one day in the clearance he went pop, 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 and got the ball out of there because the awareness he actually showed just to basically get the heck out of there was actually beyond his years. Short here, picked up a yellow card, probably didn't need to.
Great tonight from him. Great performance.
But yeah, you even though you didn't let me get that far, yeah, in fairness, great performance. Mengi, I've already spoken, and Lang, I've already spoken, and man. But to reiterate something that was said in the watch along, Zidane Igabal, Southern Asian descent. I think there was a debate on whether he was English with Southern Asian heritage or whether he was Southern Asian heritage having moved to England. But I watched a few videos earlier, and there's people with immense pride because they're not known for their footballing prowess, because you do not have a lot of players from that region appearing at top-level Premier League clubs. So it was a big and historic night. And even though he didn't get too much to do, I thought, great night for the young fella. I'm sure we're going to see more of him as time goes on. And as Mr. Savage Senior said, he's been around with Short here, with Charlie Savage, with all these guys since they were 4 or 5 years of age. And the comparison you drew to the class of 92, there is very much that feel about it, because you do feel that Ralph is going to go looking for his version of Haaland, his version of all the top quality players he's found over the years, and try and integrate them into the team over the next 1-2 seasons, whether it's either as him as manager or him as a director of football, kind of pulling the strings of the movement between the youth system and our senior squad. But absolutely delighted with today.
Okay, guys, if you're watching the Mania Agenda YouTube channel, please hit that like, share, and subscribe. Who was your man of the match? So on Monday, let's find out who was your man of the match, and we go to Rebel, and then I'll go to me last, and we're gonna call it a night.
Oh, you stumped me there. A bit like England and the Ashes. Let me think. Whew, this is tough. Sorry. Whew, this is tough. Man of the match, I would have to say Donny van de Beek for me. The reason I'm saying that, people might say, "Oh, BK, where to go?" But for one, he got the opportunity. Two, he was doing the right things. This is what I'm saying. For me, he's doing the right things on the ball. Get his head up and trying to pop it and trying to, think better than Fred, better than Matt Tomley does. So for those reasons, I'm saying, you show me, right? Forget about, it's not a non-result, as someone said in the comments. It doesn't matter why we shouldn't be a post-match review. But he was doing the right things for me to demonstrate that, you're on it. You're a baller. You get the ball. You're looking to pop, and clever little plays like that. That's exactly what we need. And he's sitting there, and he demonstrated that tonight. So for me, Donny van de Beek, my own personal man of the match.
Okay, and Rebel?
I'm going to name 2 players that I thought were very good.
No, you can't. You have to be one.
No, but I'm then going to come
to one.
Break it down to one.
I want to give honourable mention to Ahmed and Greenwood, but for sentimentality reasons and the fact that I don't think he played too bad in possibly his last European appearance, I'm giving the man of the match to Juan Mata.
Oh, wow. Fair enough. I am going to give it to... It was between my boy Bailly or Donny, and I'm going to give it to Donny because I just think we don't know if it was a mistake. I'm going to say I don't think it was a mistake for leading up to the goal, but all I'm going to say, his performance today in midfield, he was probably the most dominant player we had today against young boys. I know people are saying, but it's only against young boys, but you can only play what's in front of you, and that's what I'm going to say. On Monday, there is 2 comments here I want you to read. One of them is from Bath Time, but he's changed his name, doesn't he? Bath Time.
Christmas.
It's
that time of year, holidays time now.
Yeah, so Bath has changed. I know Bath normally comes to me now and again, but I'm going to try and be nice to him tonight and just say, you know what, just read one of his comments out. There's this comment here.
All right, so he says he puts a young defender on in the Champions League with effing Mata in a pivot and a Lango in front of him. What's a young defender? Who's that? Who's he referring to?
It's going to be, what's his name when he came on second night? Yeah.
Okay, that's great experience for him. And then there's no leader. Okay, we're not Arsenal. We don't fold over like that without leaders on our pitch. And sorry. Oh, is this the other one you want to talk?
No, it's down here. There's one more. Hold on. Yeah, this one.
Okay, it's from Mehdi. He says, for what at Christmas, it's asking talk, sorry, bath time with Vaughan. He uses talents, reserves, and players who have been injured in a game that mean absolutely nothing. I don't see anything wrong there. So there's a different view here. I'm with Mehdi on this one. Bath time's really upset. He's not happy with the performance. He thinks we should be smashing these teams. I think if we would have played our first team, maybe we would have won quite easily, handily. But I'm really impressed, and I think it's refreshing, like I said, like a nice can of a lilt or something, that we played that system, and it shows the mentality of the manager or the director of the football of thing. He's overseeing the whole club and not just the first team. He's bringing everyone in. Everyone feels a part of it, and this is a great day for Man United Football Club because it just shows what Ralph is about and is exactly what we need.
And also, Mr. B and Talk have given Man in the Match to Bailly as well. But guys, we have been the Man United agenda, and I'm pretty certain we will be doing a draw probably this time next week for you to win yourself that Manchester United jersey. I'm almost certain of it. But remember, if you're watching, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. If you're watching, to stand a chance of winning that beautiful signed jersey. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in, I'll make sure it reaches you. So from us at the Man United Agenda, we have got a show tomorrow night. And we also, remember, if you have not watched Mr. B and Talk on Friday Night Takeaway to see who wins Wally of the Week. I think there's quite a few of us on it this week. I'm on it. I know I'm on it. I don't know if I'm on it. Mr. B's on it.
A hype man like Flavor Flav.
Yeah, Mr. B's on it, and Talk's
I think
on it as well.
a cabinet. Well, let's open the cabinet and see who's in the contenders list this week. It would be you times 2, Mr. B, and Talk MU.
No, I'm only in it once.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut because otherwise I'm going to end up in there somehow by talking rubbish.
But guys, listen, without you, without the comments, I know we can't read all the comments out. We only give ourselves about 45-50 minutes to do the shows. But from us, from the Man United Agenda, always say we do appreciate every single comment, and we do appreciate every single time you guys tune in and watch us. You've been absolutely fantastic from the start to where we are now in the channel. The channel will just keep growing, and it's all to do with you and your support. So we'd like to say from the Man United Agenda, I'm Solo, Rebel, and Amonde. And we'll like to say the guys who did a watch along today, Mr. B and Talk MU, thank you so much. It was absolutely fantastic today, guys. So from us, have a lovely evening and good night.